Hey, hello, welcome back, and let's just get straight to your reading. So, heavy on air sign energy, you might be an air sign, so Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. So I'm seeing that right now there is like this disimbalance, like a power struggle with finding balance. This could be either externally or internally, but what I'm seeing right now is there's this new beginning that you're stepping into. And in this new beginning, there was like parts of you where you were running away from yourself, abandoning situations, going in the wrong direction, like focusing on like the thing that you shouldn't be focusing on, especially whenever you're facing changes. You were the person that would run the opposite way, and that made you a very different individual. And that did cause tension for you. I'm seeing that, this is already a period that's already closing itself out because I'm seeing wisdom here. And it seems like you have already learned from this experience and not to repeat the cycle anymore. And the cycle had to do with allowing power struggles, poor boundaries, in unequal give and take, communication, fairness, all this having to do with your relationships, your connections, and even with yourself, like not being fair to yourself, not giving yourself enough time. And with this new beginning, it's like, yeah, you did run into the wrong direction, but even whenever you run into the wrong direction, like you found like some enlightenment, even if it was the smallest little thing. It showed you like how you needed to start from ground zero. You were actually running backwards for quite some time. And just because this happened, it doesn't mean that you didn't gain any wisdom or any knowledge from it. Like you actually gained a lot. You might feel like you were going backwards, but you were actually moving ahead in some way, because now with that wisdom that you have, like you're going to be able to help people and teach people what you've experienced, what you learned, what you've gone through. Very significant if you have a dog, especially a white dog. But it looks like you're going to be someone that's going to be spreading wisdom to people and knowledge. Heavily on, especially with structures and foundations. And even like family dynamics. I'm seeing like you're going to be the person that's going to be shedding light to people's lives. You're very good at it. And you are someone that's very open-minded. You're very objective. You know how to see things like from a different perspective, and shift your perspective in different ways to like understand people's like points of view. I'm also seeing that, because you are like closing out this chapter, there is a lot of purging, a lot of exposure of your shadow, some deep emotions like arising. You are shedding old skin. You are no longer this individual. And this is also going to heighten your intuition. And Spirit's also asking you to be very patient here. I'm seeing Scorpio placements being very significant, and also Pisces placements. So look where you have that at. That might be the carrying theme that you're going through in that specific area in your life, in your birth chart. But heavy on the water signs, like it's just like your intuition is hiding. Like it's like you're cleansing out your water. Like imagine like you have like this water and it was like polluted or had limiting beliefs that were holding you back, or old ideas or old versions of yourself that you're still clinging onto. And now Spirit's like here, like pouring clean water, more water and more water. And so like all of this gunk is like resurfacing, but it's not for a bad reason. It's because you're cleansing yourself out. You're detoxifying yourself from this energy, from this kind of like vibration that you once were. And Spirit's also reminding you, you're a lucky duck. Just because you went through this, it doesn't mean like you didn't, like you came out scathed. Like, honey poo, like you're lucky. You're lucky. Like you seriously are a lucky duck. Like I get the sensation you went through some significant life-altering situations in your life, and somehow you're still alive and you're still sane enough to like be able to tell the tale and still be able to teach people from these experiences. You're strong. You seriously are. But I also got the Death card. So what ends makes room for what it's meant. So it looks like you probably hit a tower moment. A tower moment like could have just collapsed. This could have been like, a tower moment that could have happened whenever you were moving, a relationship, an old reality finally like collapsing itself because it was no longer, you know, sustainable. I remember writing down like a long time ago, it's like sand. Like whenever like the foundation's like very faulty, it's like sand and you're trying to like hold it, but it just keeps like dismantling in your hands because it's sand. Like it doesn't have any substance, any structure, so it just slips off your hands. And that's what I'm envisioning. Like you probably had like a faulty foundation that was never sustainable. It was based out of an illusion, a fallacy, or just, you know, like limiting beliefs that literally were not in alignment with who you are. And so Spirit is like, you know, be gentle with yourself. You are transforming. There is power in that. Even like, you know, even if like your foundation or your life crumbled or your life is upside down, there is very much a lot of power in that. It's teaching you all so much about yourself, and it's also giving you like the dark night of the soul type deal. Spirit's like saying like softness is your greatest strength. People might have mistaken you for being weak, for being soft, nurturing, caring, and loving, but they were so wrong. Like that is your actual strength, because it's like it's like so running backwards. It's like you're very kind. The moment that you're not, it's like you're the bad guy. It's like you're the bad guy. But it's like, nah, sweetheart. And many people are finally realizing how much you kept it down. You were the solid one. You were the one that held it down, even when there was chaos. And many people are feeling it right now. And this is, I'm not even pulling no more cards at this point. I'm just straight up freaking channeling. It's like so many people are feeling your absence right now, especially with this Tower moment. Regardless if this was in friendships, communities, you know, flings, or whatever the hell this is, like you are no longer this version. Like this version of you that is dying already, like you don't even seem to like resonate with it. You don't recognize it. It's just like you just feel like this way of reminiscing on it because it's like this used to be an old identity of yourself, but it's like you can't seem to operate in that way anymore. Because you finally see the truth, the light of the truth, and how you were operating, like, you know, through survival, through trauma, through bondage, through sin. And it's like now the Spirit is like, we're purifying you. You need to get rectified from these fucking demons. And it's crazy work here, but you're getting enlightened by all of this experience. And goosebumps can be very significant here. Like that is Spirit letting you know, like, we're here. There's something very significant about here. I'm also getting like a grandparent coming through. So a grandfather watching over you and then being fed up of your bullshit and being fed up of like you getting mistreated, and they're actually like putting their foot down. They're like, no, we're done. This is a done deal. We're not gonna do this no more. Like, get it together. And so now, like, you're being presented this new beginning with new opportunities. And at first, it may seem like, you know, it's challenging, but the easy path is really not the path you want to be taking. Because the easy path takes you to, like, you know, temptations, lust, instant gratification. And if it's easy to lose. So take that into consideration. It looks like you were someone that would like to, like, go find the easy way out of things, but where did that get you? For some of you guys were like, you know, you guys were way too accessible for people, so you were easy to make friends, but at the same time they were easy to lose because it wasn't built on a like sustainable like foundation to maintain it. There weren't boundaries that were implemented there. You were just letting people in, taint your energy, and just take away from your energy, and also rub their energy onto you. So by association, you kind of became similar like them. And then for others, it could have just been your own family, tainting your own damn freaking energy. But you didn't even know any better. Maybe you didn't have, like, you know, positive influence with your family. For some of you guys, like, that was one of the motives as to why you left and why you don't seem to resonate with your family anymore or feel connected to it, because it's like, y'all sleep. You're asleep, you're selling your addictions, you're too blinded by the darkness, and at the same time, it is not your job to save people. You can only pray for them and wish them well, but you cannot be a Captain Save-A-Ho here. The right people will heal with you. What was I going to say? Yeah. You've grown a lot. Even whenever you went, like, you know, the easy ride out, like, it taught you so much about yourself and a lot about your shadow and how much, you know, self-evaluation, self-awareness you needed to have, and how many blind spots you really had within your own self that you didn't realize were actually destroying your relationships and friendships, and how it was like enabling you to be in these toxic cycles that were hindering you from actually growing and evolving. For some period, I feel like you were stagnant. You were stagnant and you're stuck and you thought you were in the glory, but actually you were not in the glory. You were actually in deep fucking trouble without realizing. It's like your money was flooding out and you couldn't seem to save it for the life of you, or your health was declining and you couldn't save it for the life of you. For others, it was like you kept just trying to keep a friend, and then somehow, some way, that friend wasn't loyal, or you would find something about that friend and you're like, can't do this. Or in your relationships, you would start off relationships way too quickly and then wonder why they end just as fast. Or you ended up seeing like true colors and you're like, why did I even do this to myself? So it's a lot of like self-inflicting things here. But just because these were self-inflicting things, it does not mean you did not learn your lesson. It does not mean you didn't learn and understood the assignment, because you understood the assignment, even if it was challenging, even if it hit you in the face many times, but it clicked, and it finally clicked. And you finally have decided, like, you know what? Starting over. And starting over is not easy. It is a challenge because you're fighting the old version of yourself, your comforts, versus the new version of yourself that's needing to be integrated. So this is a period of you where you're challenging yourself. You're challenging your comforts and challenging yourself, like, are you really gonna commit? Because this is really gonna take commitment, and commitment is not easy. It's gonna take a lot of accountability and truth bombs with yourself to follow through. And this is the part about transformation. It's like that accountability and allowing yourself to go through the darkness, even when it seems scary, intimidating, and uncomfortable. Because right now you are purging these deep emotions, these deep thoughts, these desires. For some of you guys, you have like, addictions. For other you guys, you have like, a fixation on something that could, in some eyes, be viewed positively, and in other eyes, it could just be like, yo, that's an addiction. That's a habit. That is something that you should reevaluate. I just kept watching like videos having to do with like a little bit having to do with the Bible. And it's like the man is supposed to be protecting the woman, so that way the woman can have trust and that emotional safety. But the moment you allow something from the outside, or this individual or the other individual, like tainted, it just collapse. It deteriorates. So it's like your inner being kept deteriorating because you just kept allowing the wrong things in. But you were never taught. So I do not blame you. You didn't know any better. You needed to be awakened. And that was what your journey has been all along, to be awakened, to finally realize the truth of the matter. Like, oh, I am the bad guy. But the bad guy to your own story. You have sabotaged yourself, but you didn't even know. And maybe you did get warnings from like, your loved ones, your family, but you were just too stuck in denial. Too stuck in denial. What else, spirit guides? And denial can go so far until something really hits you in the face, to be honest. What else, spirit guides? What else do you want them to know? I'm seeing that, right now you might be reminiscing on old partnerships and alliances that you had with people. Even with the divine counterpart. Out of all things, the divine counterpart. So relationship, love, situationship, whatever this is, take it however you resonate. But Spirit's like, just remember the good things and just wish it well and just release it. It's beyond your control. Just, you know, allow yourself to be moved by these acts of love, because you are being pushed into a big catalyst moment. You are shifting and quantum leaping here. Like, this is no like, oh, this is just like a little stepping into, like, no, you're being shoved into it. You're like, go. And you're right now in solitude. You're in solitude. You're in hermit mode here. And you're learning and you're studying and you're finally realizing who you are, what you have been. I'm seeing major having to do with the throat chakra. And I'm seeing like there's like this like page where it's like written and then another one that's empty. So it's like you're rewriting your story now. And this story that you're gonna be writing on, it's like you standing firm on your boundaries, speaking your truth, being in your own truth. I'm also seeing like a red necklace being very significant. Black hair. You might have some long hair. The desert. And also 9's being very significant. So like there is like a completion happening here. You're completing this old cycle. And you're also putting like an end to a period of your life where you didn't allow yourself to speak your truth or, you know, be your full self around people. It seems like you were just dimming yourself down just to be swallowed. Like easily digestible. And it was also like a disservice because you were being inauthentic to yourself. I am seeing like that there's like this protection going on behind you and you don't even realize it. And I feel like that's why Spirit has you like isolated right now, because they want you to focus on yourself. And it's time to be pouring into your own cup at this period. They really want you asking yourself like the big questions, like, what do you really want long term? Like, what do you really want for yourself? It looks like you really want to be traveling. There is travel. It looks like you're so done with like the environment, the situation, and you just want to, bye. I'm done. My time is done. Initials very significant here is B, K, and T. Feminine energy, harmony and balance. So 222 can be very significant here. The number 2 itself, you might be born on the 2nd of the month. Definitely balance is being restored here. The disimbalance that you were experiencing back then is finally harmonizing itself. And it's reminding me of this other card that I pulled earlier. Yep, Spirit is guiding you. You're literally being divinely guided at this period. At this point in time. Coughing can be very significant. Throat chakra activations here. I feel like there's a reevaluation in regards to pride. Take it with a grain of salt. In regards to like your social contribution, your community and your friendships. This could be good or bad. Honestly, like really take it with a grain of salt. Because in some instances, like you can pride yourself into this, and then in other ones it's like, yo, your pride is way too much in the way, like back out. Like, yeah, right now it's just a period for you to recover. You've been giving out too much of your energy out to social causes or to people. People might be just draining your energy, and it's time that you finally call it back. Reclaim your power, please. It's time to recall your power and your true essence as an individual. You are literally arising. And I hope you have a great rest of your night. If this resonates, it resonates. If it doesn't, leave it at the window. Do not force it. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. And before I ended, not this fortune cookie calling me out. I was going to end it with the fortune cookie. What can you appreciate in this moment? Honestly, what I appreciate in this moment is being able to give the collective a reading, and also the self-realization of the growth that collective has been going through. Oh, shaky. Your faith carries you through difficult times. Your grateful nature will bring you financial success. There's that. There is that. Other than that, have a great rest of your night. Thank you for tapping in, and